very compelling case for teaching contemporary poetry. What she asserted was that high school teachers do not teach contemporary poetry hardly at all, and that when you leave high school, as a result, you see very little connection between poetry and anything that has to do with you. It seems stupid and boring, and that's really the opposite of what poetry is meant to do. It was a rather scathing indictment, and I'm afraid as I was sitting there listening, I thought she was right. So what we're going to do is a new feature every week. We're going to change the name of it, but for today it is POW. It has a terrible negative connotation. So I'm going to, poem of the week. That was just for you, Daniel, too. I was trying to come up with something that you would not be able to figure out. So if you would think about a different way that we could call this feature for our contemporary poetry of the week, and submit it to me on Edmodo, the winner will get a full-size candy bar. I know. As well as my undying gratitude and, of course, attribution every single time that we do it. I'll say blah, blah, blah.
If we don't want a candy bar, can we get a
yes, you can get something else for those of us who are not candy bar fans. Absolutely, if you come up with something good that is not POW. So the point of us doing this is going to be simply this. Wow. All right, Patrick just walked down the hallway. We're not really going to spend a lot of time writing about it or going over it. My aim is to sort of give you some exposure to some different voices of poetry. We'll certainly look at a few things, and we're going to reflect for just a moment or two about things that we notice or things that we can infer or figure out. My hope is sort of through osmosis and a little bit of repetition and practice. We're going to start to see some patterns of language. We're going to start to maybe hopefully appreciate a little bit the language. Sound good? Don't have to write a paper. And now, this is what we're going to do. But wait, there's more. We are going to watch a poetry out loud recitation of the poem that you have in front of you. So we're going to listen to somebody with some nuance and emotion read the poem who's very familiar with it. And then I'm going to give you a minute to kind of look over the words. And you can choose to follow along on your sheet of paper while you watch the poem being read, or you can just, watch this young woman as she reads it. All right.
Zacuan Papalotls by Brenda Cardenas, in memory of Jose Antonio Borciaga, 1947 to 1996. We are chameleons. We become chameleon. Jose Antonio Borciaga. We are space between the black-orange blur of a million monarchs on their two-generation migration, south to Furcon, Michoacan, where tree trunks will sprout feathers, a forest of paper-thin wings. Our Mexica cocooned the membrane de la Madre Tierra say, we are reborn, Zacuan Papalotls. Mariposas negras y aranjaras, in whose sweep the dead whisper. We are between the flicker of a chameleon's tail that turns his desert blue backbone to jade or pink sand. The snakeskin fraternal twins of solstice and equinox, the ashen dawn, silvering dusk, la oración as it leaves the lips, the tug from sleep, the glide into dreams that husk out mestizo memory. We are one life, passing through the prism of all others, gathering color and song, cempasúchil and drum, to leave a rhythm scattered in the wind, dust tinting the tips of fingers as we slip into our new light.
All right. So take a minute, if you would, and look over the words that are in the page in front of you. All right, who can speak Spanish? All right, all
I'm
right.
Spanish.
David?
Spanish too.
Who over there can, let Sebastian, can you translate for us, I think it's in the second stanza, she has a line or two there that is completely in Spanish.
Okay. It's the fourth line. Mariposas negras y yeah. Black butterflies and I can't even.
Got this, Bella? Do you know what it means?
Yeah, it means black and orange butterflies.
Black and orange butterflies. Okay. Now, I have a question for you. That very first, I couldn't even pronounce it. I've heard her say it like 8 times, and I'm still like, say papagotas. So, what do you think that means? The title of the poem. What do you think it means? What's a guess? I mean, it doesn't have a, what do you think, Eric?
Chameleon.
Chameleon? Okay, what do you think?
Birds are like butterflies or something.
Okay, why do you guys think that?
Mentions chameleon a couple times in the poem.
Okay, and Adrian?
Because it's colorful and really like they say that, or what I'm picturing is where the tree trunks will sprout feathers. So I'm thinking it could be something like a forest of paper thin wings.
Okay, wings and,
I kind of think it's like a monarch butterfly because in the second stanza it says we are reborn, whatever this is, and then it says black and orange butterfly. I think that's like a monarch butterfly. What is this?
do we need to know what it means to understand or get something out of the poem?
No.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I kind of thought it meant rainbow because I was looking at the last stanza and it says we are one life passing through the prism, gathering color and song, and that's just what.
Okay. So our guess is, as we're looking at it, that it probably is related to something in there. And she has a number of different images of the bird, of the butterfly, of the chameleon, of the prism. It does actually mean butterfly in some native culture. Its name I can't pronounce either, but I did look it up. But it does mean butterfly. So I mean, but it doesn't change for us the meaning of the poem. It doesn't like, oh, well, it's completely different. I thought she was talking about a bus. I'm curious, before we move on, because I said we're not doing lots of analysis, I'd like to hear from you if there's any line in particular that you found that either resonated with you, that you just thought was beautiful. What do you have, Gavin?
The snakeskin fraternal twins of solstice and equinox.
Interesting. Why?
I don't know. I just like equinox. It sounded right. I was just like,
Is it because they're twins?
That's what I was thinking too.
I know, trust me, no.
I like the line that says to leave a rhythm scattered on the wind, dust tinting the tips of fingers as we slip into our new light.
Ooh, slip into our new light, which relates a little bit to the idea of the changing of the chameleon. Is that the one you got all excited and then,
I'm sorry.
I actually kind of like the line. Davey, would you read the line that you shared, the full thing there about the prism?
We are one life passing through the prism of all others, gathering color and song.
We are one life passing through the prism of all other what?
Gathering.
What does the other refer to?
People.
Other lives, right? All other lives. We are passing through the prism of all other lives. I know, I really like that one. I think about the shared and collective experience that I have from my grandmothers maybe, how both of them were very different, but they informed a little bit about who I am. I think all of us have kind of an encounter, or even just with our friends, right? I mean, it's not just from our family, and even sometimes with bad and evil, we have encounters with those things and they sort of change or reflect how we behave. All right, that was it. That was it. Pass them forward, you're done. You don't have to write it. Unless you want to keep it, because your third period, so. You're like, oh, I want to keep that, you may. Pass them over, because Omar totally wants to collect them. He was very excited about this.
That one.
Omar! He's a real MVP.
I enjoyed this version.
All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going right. I'm gonna hand this out to you in just a minute, but before I do, because I know we get distracted the minute, pass it over to Mark, because you really Mr. Warren. We get a little bit distracted by handouts. I'm gonna make this available to you up on Edmodo also, and since you're third period, if you wanna take one, you can, but you're gonna probably want the electronic version. So I want to talk to you a little bit about storyboards and outlines so we can kind of have an idea of where we're going. So with our podcasts, you have choice in what you're going to do. You had choice in how you're going to present to me your annotations. And now you're going to have choice in how you're going to present to me your outline or your storyboard. I'm wondering if anybody in here knows what a storyboard is. Let's see, somebody who hasn't spoken yet.
Oh, it's like the main parts of like what's going on in the either production. So like the main points and like different sections.
Production of?
Just whatever you're making.
Okay.
Like I did mine in a video.
Okay, so that's usually where we hear about it most, right? How many of you have heard of storyboards with film? Okay, so you said that you did one with your video?
Yeah.
Okay, talk to us a little bit about what that looked like. What was in the storyboard, for
Or
example?
we did it in engineering class, and we had to come up with a product, and we made a video on it. And so we did the main points, like where you could get it, like the perks of it. And I think we had like 6 different like pictures in the storyboard. And the first one was like him holding the product. The second one was him like describing it, and it went on like that.
Okay, cool.
So what I know storyboards are from are like films and cartoons where the artist would have the main points set up on a wall as a comic strip of sorts, and then they would show what they want to do in the transitions between the little scenes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So in advertisement or products, in video, in cartoons, when people make film, actual film, not like it's my, wow, Adam, seriously. All right, I trust you on that one. When they're doing